I don't want to see any more GoFundMe pages for anybody to pay for funeral costs. Like, we got to get insurance.
And truthfully, if your parents won't do it or can't afford it, you as a child have an insurable interest in them. So you literally can go and get an insurance plan on your parents and pay the $15 a month that it takes for a $15,000, $20,000 policy. Like, it's that cheap.
What up, what up, what up? It is 2020, and this is Three Brothers No Sense coming to you with our first episode of the new year, the new
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, all that good stuff. For some reason, my daughter thought we were celebrating Chinese New Year yesterday, and I don't even know where she got that from,
Where did she get Chinese New Year from anyway?
Though the stuff, my daughter's in a Montessori school, so they might be talking about the Chinese New Year. And we said we were celebrating New Year's yesterday, and she probably put it together. So she seemed very excited about it, but I didn't have the heart to tell her that's not what we were doing. So, and she made it up. She stayed up the whole time too. But my bad, people. I'm Tavares Ferguson. Three Brothers No Sense. Joined my co-host Buff and Razi. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind for 2020.
Well, I'm a little distracted right now because I'm trying to think when I'm going to ask for the show. But for this opening statement, can you guys name an awful movie that you've watched? Because I challenge you. I double dare you to name a movie that's worse than I Got the Hookup Too. Because that's what I just finished watching, and it is awful. I mean, Master P outdid himself.
I just watched Undercover Brother 2, and it's pretty bad too.
Sounds even worse because Undercover Brother is on Netflix, right? I just saw that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I watched Belly 2 with the game, and that was bad, but I made it to the end. It took me 2 sittings to watch I Got the Hookup Too. It's awful. Oh my God.
Oh, man. I haven't watched anything.
Awful though? Like,
wait a minute. Soul Plane is pretty bad too, though. So
Soul Plane actually is not. It's watchable. It's got some good funny parts. I guess that's the same thing with Undercover Brother 2. Like, the plot is kind of bad, but coming off of Undercover Brother 1, you knew it was going to be bad. And so it's got some zingers in there. Michael J. White kind of carries it, and he does a good job filling in the gap of Undercover Brother. So it's not too bad. Soul Plane was, I thought it was funny, man. I liked it.
I mean, it had its moments. It was horribly funny.
Yeah.
But what were your expectations in these movies? Like, did you go in expecting any one of these movies to be being good?
I Got the Hookup Too. I didn't expect it to be good, but I also didn't expect it to be this bad.
So for me, it hasn't been anything recent that comes top of the mind. But I know when I went to go see Bowfinger, Eddie Murphy movie.
I like Bowfinger.
Bowfinger, I still don't know what it's about. Did we go see that?
We went and saw it together. We were in San Antonio.
I've fallen asleep on probably 2 movies in my life, and that was one of them.
Yeah, Bowfinger is a lookalike guy. There's Eddie Murphy is like a big movie star, and so he plays another guy that is like a super nerd that looks like him.
Prequel to Norbit, like he played that same lame. If I remember correctly, he was the same lame type character.
So white dude in that movie too, right? Ain't it a white dude in that movie?
I mean, there's a couple of them in there. Like, I think he's producing the movie or whatever. And so they find the little lame dude that looks like Eddie Murphy, the superstar, and they make him do like a whole lot of the movie. And then what they do is they set up scenarios that Eddie Murphy, the superstar, doesn't know about. And like, they record him for all the close-ups. And so if they need him like running from a car, they literally chase him with a car to get pictures of him being chased by a car, and then they like cut that into the movie, and they actually make a pretty good movie out of it towards the end. It was funny, man. Eddie Murphy.
Hey, he say so.
That movie was, from what I remember, maybe I was drunk and tired, but that movie was horrible. I couldn't get it.
I like cult type movies like that, like just really off-brand movies. Like, I don't know if growing up, if y'all ever remember, what was it? The Attack, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yeah. Do y'all remember that movie?
Yeah.
No. Like,
that's that same genre as Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, freaking Little Shop of Horror. I put all those in those B-list suspense horror movies from the 80s. Horrible cult classics, I get it. Bowfinger's not one of those. Bowfinger's just horrible.
Yeah. Like, I think Belly Part 1 is a good bad movie. Like, it's a bad movie, but it's good.
The acting was horrible.
I mean, when Nas said, "Are you sure it was the feds?" I
mean, but T-Boz was the worst.
I mean, next couldn't act either. Like, it's like, I don't know, no effing Tiana. Like,
that movie it was great. If it came on today, I probably will watch it.
I bought it. I own it on Vudu.
I have it too. I have it on DVD.
So, Razi, what's going on with you, man?
Man, nothing. I enjoyed my my washed New Year's Eve last night. So I took the kids skating and they did a little balloon drop at about 8:30 instead of at 12 o'clock. And we were in the house watching TV by 10 o'clock. It was
Did you drink hot cocoa for the countdown?
Nah, we didn't even drink anything, man. We went to Whataburger on the way home, grabbed a milkshake. Yeah, man. Yeah. And just sat on the couch. We started watching You. So thanks for that recommendation, Buff. It's pretty cool. It's a new age Dexter. So I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. I'm only on episode 3 right now. Well, just finished episode 3. So about to go into episode 4. So that's going to be the rest of my day once we finish recording.
Well, I enjoyed my New Year's Eve. Just the wife and I, the kids, and we went over to another couple's house and they made like hot pots, like that restaurant we went to, Razi, where they had so pretty good. But it was real relaxed, real cool, real laid back. We actually had some great conversations talking about marriage and stuff like that. Plenty of drinking. We had too much liquor, but man, it was pretty entertaining. So my things this week are 6 Underground. You guys seen that movie on Netflix? Yeah,
I saw it. Is it bad?
Oh, it's pretty damn good.
Okay,
it's pretty damn good. It's very action packed. It's you gotta pay attention because it's a lot of stuff going on. Have either one of you guys started watching the Kevin Hart, I guess, documentary type thing?
Yeah, we binged it. Yeah, we watched it.
That's a great documentary, man.
Yeah, we're only on episode 3, but the second episode when he was talking about his relationship with his father, was really powerful. There's some things that he said that just really kind of stood out to me. So I don't know if you guys watched that. So for the audience, if you get a chance, go check out Kevin Hart's. What is the name of it?
Don't F this up.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And, so the wife and I had some good conversations around that. She kept pausing and having epiphanies and all that type stuff. But that's what we do in this house. So we've pubbed Whataburger.
I got
Kevin Hart.
Too.
I got the hookup too, Belly. Netflix, all that good stuff. So you know what time it is. We got to pay our bills too. So
this episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day. And that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Welcome back, Three Brothers No Sense. Once again, this is our first episode of 2020, so going into our second year. Fellas, been a lot of good stuff going on. I really enjoyed the last episode where we talked about 2019. We talked about what we were leaving in 2019, what we accomplished over the decade and things like that. So I guess we have to be cliche and go with, our plans for the year or, or the decade or however you want to position that. So I guess mine will be a little different then. How do you celebrate the new year? Do you make New Year's resolutions? Do you have more of a long-term plan, or do you just reevaluate what you did last year and kind of recalibrate your focus on those things? Or are you one of those people that does vision boards? How do you guys bring in the new year, and do you use this as a time to set up new goals?
So confession, I just learned what a vision board was like last year, maybe 2 years ago. So no, I do not do those. I didn't do any New Year's resolutions this year, but I have done them in the past. I've noticed that people kind of clown people for doing those now, having a New Year's resolution. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially if there's some areas you need to work on. But how we celebrate, my wife likes to party, so we did that on New Year's Eve. And my goal for the year is to, I think it's always to be more financially savvy. And you can ask Razi, like randomly throughout the year, maybe 3 or 4 times out the year, I'll text him like, anything I should be investing in, what can I do with this? What can I do with that? How should my numbers look? I remember one time I sent him like how much I have in my TSP, which is like a 401k for most people. And I was like, yo, should I be at this? Should I be higher? Should I be lower? And just picking his brain on that, man. So that I need to do more grown up stuff too, Ferg. Like I'm embarrassed to say I don't have a will. I need to do a will. Yeah. I think I want to up my life insurance too. I want to do stuff like that. Like I have life insurance, but I want a greater amount set aside for if something happens to me. So just things like that, like the boring administrative stuff, man, when it comes to financing. And like what I talked about on the show, I got to stop procrastinating. Like I can't be afraid to fail. These ideas I have, I need to just, push forward, do it. If it fails, I'm no worse off than I am now, but at least I can say I tried. So those are like the 2 main things. While Razi is answering, if I think of anything else, I'll jump back in. But those are like the 2 main things for me.
Let me ask you this. So are they focus goals? Like you said, you want to create a will. You have timelines, deadlines. Do you have even with your life insurance plan, do you have a number in mind you want to bring that up to? Because I can procrastinate too, but when I set goals, I'm like, I want to do this. I need to be, I want to have $1 million life insurance plan. Like rather than, I'm going to look at my life insurance plan and it'll be December 1st, the day you decide to cut people out of your life and to get a new life insurance plan, 2020, and you're back at square one. So, do you have set numbers or, and are you just taking this time to, answer that first.
So I do have a set amount. I actually have it written down. And I went to like a seminar at my job, like a retirement seminar. And I think it was a TSP seminar. And they go over all the numbers, like what you would be at. We talked about life insurance and stuff. So I actually have, as far as the amount I want, written down. As far as a deadline, I haven't set one, but I have found that when I do set deadlines for myself, like cutting people off by December 31st, but when I do set deadlines for myself, that usually helps with my procrastination. So I will set a deadline and work on that.
Do you have any long-term goals, or you set them year by year?
Some long-term goals, but not. It's mostly year by year.
Okay.
Mostly year by year, yeah.
What about you, Razi?
For me, man, truthfully, New Year's is another day. It resets the Gregorian calendar. That's about it for me. Because I reassess my goals and everything as often as I need to, right? So I talked about it last week about having a plan. If you get off plan, just figuring out how you need to adjust to get yourself back on plan. So that's what I do is I'm constantly adjusting and updating my plan. So moving from 2019 into 2020 doesn't do much for me. You know, there are certain things that I know that are happening this year. So it's like, okay, now that I know Jenica's going to graduate this year, I know, you know, certain things are going to happen as far as finances go. And so I start adjusting my plans for that. And maybe that's what I guess. Yes, I do reevaluate my plan come the new year so that, okay, anything that might be changing, what do I need to do with it? I know that I'm going to get a little bit of a pay bump. What am I going to do with that extra money? Am I going to increase my retirement or am I going to put it on something else and that type of thing? So those types of things, I start looking at what I'm going to do if I get a tax return, what I'm going to do with it. You know, what am I going to do with my bonus? Am I going to pay down a little debt, pay off some type of loan that I have or something like that? So I start planning all that, because I know when those things are happening. And so just kind of look out. But as far as a New Year's resolution or anything like that, nah, I don't really do much of that. Because I feel like if I wanted to do it, I would have done it last month. You know, it doesn't just pop up on December 31st, like, oh, I need to make this change. So, you know, I'm already thinking through it and doing it. So, nah, the New Year's really doesn't hold much weight for me.
Okay. I noticed that both of you guys, the majority of it revolved around finances. And I think I hit that a lot, that when men usually talk about things or growth, it always goes back to finance. Well, 9 times out of 10, it goes back to some kind of financial aspect.
Money makes the world go round, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, no traveling, no personal goals, getting in. Like Byron, I know last episode you mentioned trying to get in not better shape, but taking health into better consideration. Is that something you kind of want to use as a vague goal, or using now that it's new, quote unquote, new beginnings to kind of focus on that? Or, you know, because we were talking about the decade, not just the new year.
Well, it's not like that's like I guess you could say that's always been a battle for me. So that's not like hey, it's 2020, I'm going to do right. I mean, I think the new year definitely can help you refocus a bit and say, okay, this is a chance to do things a lot better. But it's something I've always struggled with. And, you know, hopefully, just like any other year, hopefully this will be the year I really I guess win or achieve that. But yeah.
I look at it truthfully. If you're using the new year to reset that expectation, and it's like a crash diet, right? Is it going to be sustainable long term? You know, you set these goals. How many people say I'm gonna get back in the gym January 1, and by February 1st they ain't in the gym no more? You know what I mean?
It's so annoying. Every January the gym is so annoying.
And that's why I try to stay away from trying to make a New Year's resolution or anything like that. My goals. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the whole SMART goal thing, but it's I'm trying to make my goals as specific as possible. So what it does is it makes you really think about goals that you set that can be achievable when you want to achieve them, and really make them realistic and measurable, so that you can say, I want to lose 10 pounds. You don't say, I want to lose weight. You know what I mean? And by putting that actual measurable piece on there, and then you say, I want to lose 10 pounds by, say, you know, February 30th or whatever, or by March 30th. So now you have a
30th.
Oh, well, you know what I mean. 29th. So, you know, but by putting your goals wrapped in that SMART formula, what you end up doing is you're more apt to actually meet the goal. And then on top of that, it's one of those things that it really is, you see the value in it, you see why you're doing it. And so when you do that, you don't need New Year's to reset that. You don't need the new year, new you, all that stuff. You just say, here's my goal. I'm going to start it today. And if it is the New Year's, it prompts you to set that goal, but you need to make sure that you're setting those goals in that time constrained basis that are realistic so that then you can meet them.
Well, to play devil's advocate, to go over SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely.
That's it. Yeah.
Think about you said timely, achievable. Like when you look at those things, I think we're part of the generation that hates to be cliche. Like either you're cliche or you hate to be cliche. It's no just like, I'm just fine with kind of being in the middle. I know a lot of people are, like Byron said in the beginning, are anti New Year's resolutions. Mm-hmm. But think about our businesses, our what we do. Like you have reports, you have evaluations that are measured over a certain length of time to give you, like you have X amount of time to do this. These are my expectations over a certain amount of time. Did you hit them? So in a 12-month period, of a 6-month period, a 3-month period, did you do these things? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the new year where you start. You can start like you said, you can start your goals on February 30th. Never happened, but start your goals on February 30th. But if you still set timelines and stuff like that, is great. I think what I do like about the new year, and I'm not big into New Year's resolutions per se, is it kind of gives you, it's an easy time gauge. Like, I have 365 or 366 days to kind of measure my plans. I don't reset them every new year, like getting in the gym. Yeah, I know I want to be healthier. I can get in the gym January 1st. I can get in the gym February 1st. I can get in the gym December 15th. But if I know that January 1st is a day that I can just, for whatever reason, that's just a day that motivates me. I can't necessarily look at that as a bad thing. That's a day. Maybe you're just cliche. You reset the clock like everybody else. I'm not big into the New Year's resolutions. I look more on milestone years for me. So like I was saying last episode, where 30 to 35, I had goals. There's things I wanted to accomplish. And so I took that my birthday was a goal, but like really I kind of made it beginning of 2011 to the end of 2015. So beginning of 2016 was the time I needed to accomplish these same things. Like starting over I have a couple more things I want to accomplish by 40. So 2020 is kind of a big year for me. Actually, I've accomplished most of those things I wanted to by 40. 2020, I have a few things that I still want to accomplish, but it reminds me like, hey, you got about a year to knock these things out. For me, similar to Byron, I definitely want to get my finances, redo my will, reevaluate my life insurance plan. There's things that my wife and I have planned financially as far as investing in certain things, getting our business, reevaluating our business plan and finding additional streams of income. So those are things that we're focusing on this year. We started talking about last year, but now is kind of our debt. We use like the beginning of the year is our deadline to start putting that into action. It's like we've been talking about it. Now we're starting to put that in action. I thought I was tell you guys about the photo booth and stuff we want to buy, things like that. For me, not so much 1 year. Like over the next 5 to 6 years, I definitely want to get into real estate. I want to at least have 2 rental properties by 45. That's a long way from it now. Definitely get back on track on my retirement funds. Things of that nature, personal growth, definitely want to get healthier, get back in the gym. I was joking with you guys a few weeks ago saying one of my goals is to be in better shape at 40 than I was at 30. So getting fit, I'm kind of a Fit by 40 challenge, like really pushing myself, because similar, Razi used to be in sales, we have sales campaigns where you focus on certain things for a certain amount of time, and it's like laser focus. It's not necessarily a bad thing because, also in sales, you might, well, this is the flavor of the month. We're putting all our energy on this, and then next week it's something new. But getting those things kickstarted, there's going to be 1,000 people in the gym probably today, right now. And by this time next month, it might only be 50 of them. But the 50 that stayed, that was what they needed to get in the gym. And I definitely got to get back in the gym. These surgeries have killed me. I'm probably in the worst shape I've been in the last 5+ years. I feel I feel flabby. I got back fat, all that kind of stuff. But my wife body shamed my body shaming myself. So, but for me, I use the new year to kind of recalibrate. I don't go back and just create vision boards and stuff like that. But if that's what you need, I talked to a couple other day, and that's what they did. They came up with a couple's vision board they're doing together for the year and things they wanted to, get focused on.
I think that's fine to use, say, January 1 as your launch point for whatever your plans were. You know what I mean? And I look at that different than a random New Year's resolution. If you've got a long-term plan, a vision, and then you're backing that into some achievable goals, and then those goals are setting the steps, and guess what? Now you got a plan, right? And I think that's fine. I mean, it's no different than companies saying, hey, this year, here's our strategy, here's what we want to do and everything. I look at that different, I guess, than a New Year's resolution. New Year's resolution is something that is, I'm going to totally change how I usually do things, and how I do it or how I change it. It's just something so different than what I normally do. What you're saying is, I have a plan, I have a goal. January 1, I'm going to implement my plan, and I have that entire plan out. I have that vision for it out. That's different. So I'm cool with people that do vision boards, recalibrate their plans, everything. I think that's a little different than a New Year's resolution, in the cliche manner.
Okay, true. Because I've never got into that whole new year, new me. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part that's what I mean, is I don't play into the whole New Year thing when everybody's like, oh yeah, it's a new year, so I'm gonna just completely change myself. That doesn't happen. And that's the stuff when I talk about crash dieting, that's the thing that's not gonna stick. You're not gonna be able to do that. You need to actually set some goals, some small achievable milestones to that ultimate change, if you do want to make that ultimate change in yourself.
Well, I guess I'm sorry.
I was going to say also, just to show that I'm not completely irresponsible. I don't have a will, but the things I do have set up, because the way it was explained to me, a will isn't necessarily recognized in court by law or whatever. It can't be enforced. The things I do have set up trumps a will anyway, like my beneficiary for my TSP retirement and all that stuff is in place. So that would trump. The will more or less would just be for, like, I guess, personal items that I have that I would want to go to certain people. So just want people to know I'm not completely irresponsible.
Well, Tab is going to be all right if he does.
Well,
yeah, she's straight.
Well, in the spirit of staying in the moment, are there anything we want to challenge our listeners with, some must-haves for 2020 if they don't have it already?
Life insurance.
Life insurance. And listen, and not just life insurance for yourself, but for your parents as well. Like, I know that's a difficult conversation to have, and I've gotten on, I don't even know if she has spoken to her mom about it, but I have gotten on my wife about talking to her parents about it. I don't want to see any more GoFundMe pages for anybody to pay for funeral costs. Like, we got to get insurance.
And truthfully, if your parents won't do it or can't afford it, you as a child have an insurable interest in them. So you literally can go and get an insurance plan on your parents and pay the $15 a month that it takes for a $15,000, $20,000 policy. Like it's that cheap.
My mom, about a half a year, maybe even a year before my dad passed away, I spoke how I paid for his funeral. Either my last episode or in the video I did.
Yeah.
But she had told me about a year ago. She was like, listen, your dad doesn't take great care of himself. I don't think he has insurance. You should get some life insurance on. And it was my procrastinating ass. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do that one day. And I wind up having to come out of my pocket. Listen to what Razi just said. If the talk is too difficult, do what he said. I'm telling you, you'll thank yourself.
And the other one that I would challenge everybody to do is check your insurance policy or your company or whatever. See if they have any type of mental health coverage there, and go use that mental health coverage and go talk to a counselor. If there's anything that you feel like has been hounding you, it's been on your back, you feel like you can't shake some feeling or whatever, go talk to somebody about it. Those folks are actually trained to help you work through that. And so, that companies have their little health fairs they'll do, and they'll have like some type of mental health type of hotlines, things like that. I know my company has one where you get up to 3 times you can just talk to a counselor over the phone for free. So that use those if you have those types of benefits and those types of access, and get better mentally as well as financially and physically.
Well, I guess the round it out, going back to the physical part. Mm-hmm. People get your checkups, go to the doctor, find out what's going on with you. We're getting to the age where we're starting to see people we grew up with, people we looked up to that weren't that much older than us, not make it, and so, or just have serious health problems, heart, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Like, people, we got to get it together, especially if you have kids. The goal is to be there for them and your spouse, but also to start teaching them healthy living habits. So really go find out what's going on with you. I've been to the doctor more since I've been married than I probably have in my whole life. My wife makes sure I go get my checkups and stuff like that. That's why I've had these surgeries and things. Like, just take care of your body while you can, because if you don't, it's not going to get any better. So I think that was anything else, Buff? You want to make sure these people out here join?
No, that was the main thing, man. That was it.
Okay. All right. Who's the next question on?
Razi, you want to take it?
Yeah, I'll take it. So I don't know if you guys saw, we've had a bunch of stories in the news, and I think the latest one was there was a 14-year-old that killed her human trafficker, and she ended up going to prison, or she's being tried for it now. And so we know about, I can't remember her name, the other one that just got released.
That has the book out. I forgot. Yeah. She was on the Breakfast Club, though.
Yeah, her. So she just got out for it. She got released. But, that's happening more and more, where these kids, truthfully, are being trafficked, and then when they actually are able to stand up and they kill their trafficker, or they kill the person that's, abusing them, and then they're being tried for it. So with that, you guys know, like, states like Nevada has prostitution is legal, or escorts are legal. And there's been more and more talks about legalizing, or at least decriminalizing, prostitution. And so I wanted your thoughts on the decriminalization or legalization of prostitution. And do you think that would actually affect some of this trafficking, some of this where these kids are having to defend themselves and then go to prison because they defended themselves?
So this used to be an easy answer for me. I always felt like prostitution should be legal, in the sense that if a grown adult woman
or male prostitution happens.
Okay, let me get to it. If they want to have consensual sex with one another on an agreed upon amount, then I see nothing wrong with that. The problem is, and it's funny you use the word human trafficking, because that is what it is, but it's pretty much pimping. And it's crazy how on one hand we have glamorized pimping through entertainment of one way or another. But the realization is pimping is human trafficking. And the problem with that is a lot of times these women are forced into this situation at a very young age, 14, 15, 16 years old. And that's where the problem comes in. So in the sense of an adult woman that wants to, has a hotel room or how they have it in Vegas at the Bunny Ranch or whatever like that, in that sense, I'm okay with decriminalizing prostitution. But that has nothing to do with young girls being trafficked and having sex and all that kind of stuff. So to answer your question, yes for that, but as far as human trafficking as we know it, no.
You don't think being able to have the bunny ranches and things like that legally operating would take away from really the need for that human traffic, that 14, 15-year-old that's being trafficked and sold?
I don't, because it's too many sick men out there who have a fetish for young girls. Matter of fact, if you go on like any type of porn sites, they one of the big, the more popular ones are like the barely legal looking girls and stuff like that. Like men have an obsession with young girls. And so even if you made what you're talking about legal, there still would be an appetite for having a 14, 15, 16-year-old girl being prostituted.
I agree with Byron. I think there might be a source of income and an option for some women and men, I guess, in what you were hitting at, Razi, to stimulate the economy. But I think, to Byron's point, there are people who have strange fetishes. So now that it's legal, I have even more ways to make money, especially if I'm doing human trafficking for people from other countries. They're still going to be kidnapping young Asian girls, young girls from all over the world that might not have even wanted to enter this, because now it's a lucrative business. That's part of it. Then also, everybody's not going to go to the bunny ranch. Everybody's not going to. People are still going to be driving down MLK, name the city, looking for prostitutes. There's still a lot of drugs and crime involved in that world, legal or not. Like, there's still going to be prostitutes getting high to cope with the fact that they're having sex. I don't think the average woman is like, oh, well, I can be a prostitute legal. Now that's a career choice I'm going to make. It's going to be the same people who turn to prostitution as, well, if I don't become a prostitute, I have very limited options. I don't think. What are you about to say?
Oh, I was just going to throw out there. There's this whole industry called the porn industry that's specifically what a lot of girls are doing, is saying, hey, I can have sex legally on camera, and they choose to go into that lifestyle. Yeah,
but I don't think that's what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a porn star. That doesn't happen. I think it's like you find yourself in situations where that, you know what I'm saying? Like, go ask your daughter. I guarantee that's not what they want to be.
Go ask a 12-year-old male, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but, I'm not going to say that. I'm not downing that profession or whatever the case may be. But I guarantee the average porn star finds herself in that situation because there wasn't a lot of options. It was an easy way to make money. And so, and like I said, I was gonna say, even in the porn industry, it's not that I've spoken to a lot of women in porn, but I think from what I've heard that they have dreams. Well, some of them may have dreams of becoming a director and stuff, like moving up. Like, there's no moving up in prostitution. Like, you are what you are in porn. You can be madam. You can start. You can start.
Madam. Vera.
Yeah, you can start pimping these.
I'm an honest. No, my hose is on it.
I stand corrected.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I get what you're saying, I just think the things that revolve around that world is just setting us up for more failure, because I guarantee there's a lot of drugs going on in the porn industry. There's a lot of drugs going on in the prostitution industry. And then to me, I also think it's going to increase human trafficking, because now I can legally do this. Let me go find a little kidnap some little Russian chicks. Let me go kidnap some little Asian chicks. Let me kidnap some it's going to increase. Let me get this little young 17-year-old, 18-year-old that got kicked out the house on some drugs, strung out, and now she works. Now she legally works for me. Like, she gets a W-2 and all that shit. So I don't think it's like I don't think it's gonna be career fairs at John L. LaFleur. Like, you know what are you doing after high school? Well, if you don't want to go to college or join a trade, hey, become a prostitute. I don't think they're going to open up the doors to do that.
Yeah, I don't think when I talk about decriminalization, especially maybe not legalization, but decriminalization, the thing about that is that we know that human trafficking happens, and a lot of these girls are put into these situations because of their situation that they're in, right? They've been kicked out of the house, they have nowhere to go, everything like that. And then you throw on top of that, if you do get into this and you're just trying to make ends meet, now a cop pulls up and you're going to go to jail because of it. And so with my saying criminalizing the act of prostitution, and I'm fine with still having pimps be criminals and everything. And so then what ends up happening is they have a place, they can unionize, they have to go get cleared. You know that you laughing. I'm just saying that, they can unionize. You know that they're going to be getting checkups, regular checkups, and they're healthier. They're in a better situation than the pimp picking them up at 17 and slapping them around and everything. It's the decriminalization. They can actually go to a cop and say, this dude hit me. What were you doing? I was prostituting, but this dude hit me, and they're not going to get picked up and go to jail because they were a prostitute. They can actually report a John for hitting them, even if they were in the act of being a prostitute. So my thing about it is, by decriminalizing it, you take that stigma away, and now they're able to actually get to safer areas, safer places. They have a lot more control over what they're doing, and they have a lot more support for them for what not for what they're doing, but to be able to get out of the situation than if it's just illegal.
I see some points for that. Yeah. My question to you is how does that decriminalization help the two young ladies that we were talking about earlier?
Which one? Which two? The 14-year-old?
Yeah.
So what happens is, because she wouldn't be in that situation, or hopefully she wouldn't have to be in that situation. Because
she's been tried for murder, right?
She's being tried for murder because she killed the guy that was trafficking her.
So I'm confused on how that would have changed the situation.
And that's why I asked the whole point of, do we think decriminalizing or legalizing prostitution for the adults would have any type of effect where that, less and less of those kids are having to be in those types of situations?
I'm sorry, man. I just had a vision of whole school. You got to get licensed.
You do.
You gotta
read up on the bunny ranch and in Nevada, to be an escort and everything like that. There are certain things you have to go get licensed. You have to actually
you pass the test. I wanted you. That's my thing. I get a license, or I just pay my $500 and all of a sudden I'm good. Or you have to take classes, join a union and all this stuff. Dude, imagine that.
Yeah, they have a CBA. I can only have 3 guys a night.
Making fun of this industry, man.
No, I'm just thinking about how that works. Is there going to be a school, for prostitution?
So I like some of the points Razi made, but at the end of the day, I still don't think it helps anybody like that 14-year-old that you mentioned, because I still think that there is an appetite for that. And so I agree with some of the I guess the pros in decriminalizing it for women that are of age. I think some good things can happen with that. But, and I think you would agree, it still doesn't help the underage trafficking. And I don't think like a so-called pimp is going to say, well, I don't need to go worry about getting any 15-year-olds because now it's legal, so I'll just focus on 18 and up. No, they get them so young, one, because they're easier to control. And by the time they are 18, they're already under their stable or whatever. So they're still going to want to get them at a young age so they can control them. And unfortunately, like I said, there's a lot of sick men out there that want them at that age as well.
So, but, and this, I'm just asking this because I don't know, like as law enforcement, you might know it. If she is being trafficked and she's doing an illegal act by being a prostitute, and she kills that guy, she doesn't have like a self-defense or anything like that claim, right? But if she is doing something that's perfectly legal, she can say, I was defending myself. I tried to tell him to stop and he didn't stop. So I ended up killing him. Isn't that like a self-defense at that point, right?
I don't think it was because of during a criminal act. I think that's just completely different. I think if there's a way to escape, like I don't know the details of the 14-year-old, like I think she might be being tried because it might have been premeditated murder. Like,
yeah,
okay, he turned around.
They're looking at it like a battered woman, like a woman that's been beat on consistently for 2 or 3 years. But at that moment when she kills her husband, like he just happened to be in the kitchen cooking steak. And that's like, I think more or less the law allows murder in a self-defense scenario. But when when the act is not occurring, you can't just off somebody or whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's loopholes. Like you could claim, mentally for the last 2 years I've been beat on, or in the case of the 14-year-old, hopefully her lawyer is going that route and say, mentally I was out of my mind, and that was the best way I felt I could escape.
So I think it's like I guess equated to unnecessary use of force. Like there's situations where people have committed crimes and been injured while committing crimes, and it's like I was just stealing bread and you shot me. Like there was no reason you had to shoot me. Like I was never a threat. I was never like the shooter has been tried, for attempted murder or things like that, because like I don't pose a threat to you. At no point should you have ever pulled out a gun or tried to injure me. So yes, you were a prostitute. Yes, you were doing this. If he's raping you at the time and your only way to escape is self-defense and murder or whatever, then that's different, rather than like Byron today and you've been in the gym and you just want to take a frying pan to his head. Completely different. But I do like what you're saying is if women do choose that profession, they don't have to worry about the consequences of their profession over their safety. Yeah. It's like, well, he's beating me, but I can't go because it's almost like I forgot what movie. It was like a drug dealer can't go say I got robbed.
Right.
Like, well, they stole all my drugs, like, oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Or the stick-up kid stole my drug money. Like, well, cops really ain't going to investigate that much. And I feel like that's what happens a lot of time with these young ladies is they're not taken seriously because of the profession that they're in.
Yeah. But I just to be honest, I don't think even if it was legal that people would take them seriously. They might be more forthcoming, but we're still in a generation where we have women with rape claims and all these other things, sexual assault claims, who have no history of any illegal activity, but because they were dressed a certain way, the police and the jury or whatever.
Don't get me started.
Have them they're partially to blame. Yeah. So if they can't trust, or these ladies are having problems, whether it's legal or not, you think they're going to take up for a prostitute. It's like, well, you're a prostitute, right? Yeah. Like, I still think that's going to happen. So, when you first said it, I thought about it, but I still think it's the world we live in. Our women are faced with too many things they almost have to walk the straight and narrow for their story to come across, just like, we do too. You look like you fit the description, angry black man. So regardless of what you did, I got to be squeaky clean to get off. So good question.
Oh, man. Thanks. Yeah, I think that one, you're gonna have to have panels and all kind of other stuff. But I just wanted y'all thoughts on it because it's so hard. And I guess I never really gave my answer, but inside of all of that, I mean, I think the audience got kind of how I feel about it. I really do think that it would help. I don't think it's going to solve any of the issues. It's not going to solve trafficking. It's not going to solve, that 14-year-old's case or anything like that. But what I do know is that it doesn't put a whole lot of females and males. I keep saying, we keep talking ladies, but there are male prostitutes out there that kind of get trafficked and all kind of stuff too, especially young boys in their 14, 15, 16-year-old days. So, I feel like for them, it's going to at least help them get out, help them get help and not have to worry about I'm going to jail. And they be able to say, yes, this guy's trying to pimp me because they have more say in what they want to do versus we're all in the underground doing dirt. So I really can't say much about anybody else. So that's my thing on it.
So you think the people that are being trafficked?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for me too.
Trafficked are like not coming forth when they have the opportunity because they feel like they'll get in trouble. So they just keep going with the game. So if it was legal, they could at least say, hey, I'm being trafficked and I don't want to be anymore. And
yeah, they can do stuff like put restraining orders out and stuff like that. Like you really can't do much of that now. I don't know.
But I don't think it's illegal to be trafficked. I don't know. Like if somebody drugged you and put you out there and you one day find out you're not high anymore and you went back like, look, I've been missing from my family for 2 years and been selling meat on the side for the last 2 years. I don't think you're guilty of anything. If anything, you're a victim at that point. I still don't think. I don't know. That's I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's a bigger conversation for our 15 minutes of conversation, but
that's big. Byron, bring us home, man.
Yeah, give us something light, man.
So I was gonna say this episode has been very serious. So it's a light question, but
it's gonna take a dark turn.
It's not gonna take a dark turn, but people get passionate about what I'm about to ask, and some people may get mad depending on your answers. But here goes. I want you to name me who you think is an overrated artist, and name me an overrated song. So, and you know what, overrated may be, and don't choose the easy route and pick on one of these like young rappers, like Young Thug or somebody like that. I'm talking about somebody who the consensus, has legitimized them and say, hey, that's a great artist. But for whatever reason, in your opinion, it's like, they all right. Like, and a song. Don't necessarily pick a pop song. Like pick a quality song that for whatever reason, when you hear it on the radio, it's like, I'm good. I'm gonna pass on that. So one of y'all take that overrated artist, overrated song. Let's hear. Or if you don't like the word overrated, unpopular opinion, because it could be an unpopular opinion that, like I said, most people love and enjoy. But for whatever reason, because I know like if somebody told Ferg they don't like Stevie Wonder, he have an issue with that.
Sackless, man, it's freaking genius. Godsend. Ugh.
And don't worry about pissing people off.
Well, this is just this is not my answer. But Old Town Road is I just never got into it. It's just.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to think past that, like past the new current stuff. But I take a little offense. The Old Town Road does go kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Freaking horrible. It's always
I will say I could never get on the Elvis train. I mean, to get out of hip hop, I never really felt like Elvis. You know, Hound Dog, those type. They were okay, but you had black artists that were kind of killing it already. So and doing way better. What? Elvis is overrated. Let's be honest.
Oh man. Did they name? Isn't it like a city named after him in Tennessee or something like that?
Oh man,
there's all kind of stuff, man.
All right, what about song?
And this is probably showing our age a little bit, but It Ain't My Fault is not that great of a song.
Silk the Shocker and Mr.
Yeah. And Mr.
That song was awesome. That song was awesome, man. I had my song. Dang, I forgot that quick. Oh, okay.
It's so hard to say people were overrated because of the everybody who especially made it big that kind of got on our radar has something to bring. So it might not, you know, they may not have been the greatest lyricists out there, but the song was really catchy. Like Lil Nas X, right? It's like his lyrics aren't there, but that song is catchy as I don't know what. So Buff, let's switch it up. You give us your answer first.
All right.
Since I assume you have yours, and maybe that'll spur some thoughts.
Okay, so you want me to start with song or artist?
Either.
Okay, so song, it wasn't like a pop song. It was I got two of them. So you guys know Remy Ma. Her and Nicki Minaj had a beef, and she did a song called Sheether. And I don't know if it's because a lot of people don't like Nicki Minaj, but people went crazy over that song. And when I listened to it, you know, I was like, she's spending like the first 2 minutes talking about how Nicki has a fake ass when she has fake tits. Like, I just didn't get it. I mean, I guess because, like I say, people didn't like Nicki Minaj. And also, a while ago, Big Sean had a song called Control, and he had like different artists on there. Kendrick Lamar's verse on there was highly overrated to me. Like, all he did pretty much was like, he did like what The Game does. Like, he just name dropped a bunch of artists and just said, I'm coming for y'all. Like, I'm coming to crush you all. But it was nothing like, there were no ether type of lyrics or whatever, or no takeover type lyrics. He just named a bunch of artists like Big Crit, Drake, and he was like, you know, I'm coming for the crown. And everybody's like, oh, you heard that? I'm like, it's all right, but it didn't top it.
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah, I agree with you a little bit on that. Like, but I was one of those people that was like, oh. But
I mean, I think it was because an artist hadn't called another artist out in a while. Like, it had been a long time since we had Jay-Z and Nas, and so I guess that's what it was. And artists, Sade. I mean, don't get me wrong. She makes it.
Something fervent. What you not about to talk about that beautiful queen right there.
She's beautiful.
She's 176 years old, and she looks like she is 22. That woman, she has the silky, sultry voice of an African angel.
She does. But you telling me you can sit through an entire concert of the same type of song? Like, this is it's the same thing to me. It's like sitting in a bubble bath with candles lit type of music. Like, I can't listen to that for a whole car ride. So she's good at what she does. She just wasn't diverse enough to me. So, low rate to me.
So along those same lines, somebody that comes to mind for me was Alicia Keys.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
You too?
Yes, me too. So Alicia Keys, she has an okay voice. She has very good production. and that was about it. I
Did
mean,
you mention she was fine?
Oh, she was fine.
Okay.
But you know, when you get down to her songs, they were okay for the time. But you don't see, do they still get played? I mean, when they come on, is everybody like, drop what you're doing? Alicia Keys is on. When No One comes on, From New York comes on, and you're just like, okay, they're good songs, but it's not something I'm gonna like. They don't go down as classics. Like, does she have an actual classic?
Pretty much her first 2 albums are full of classics.
Yeah, she has classics.
And This Girl Is on Fire is used on pretty much every woman's political campaign. So yes, Razi, she has classics.
So I will agree with you on Alicia Keys, even though I hate to, simply because my wife and I had this conversation, a very similar conversation a few weeks ago, where she's talented, but she's not like her voice isn't anything that's going to just take you by storm. Like, it's just like she's just very, her production makes her.
Exactly. That's why I think she's overrated.
She knows how to use her. Like, she can't cover for other people. Like, you can't just have her go sing. Who's just a great singer? She's not going to sing a Jill Scott song.
Exactly.
She can't. But Jill Scott can sing any song that Alicia Keys sings. But you can't, like, go play a Jill Scott song, then go play Alicia Keys song. Alicia Keys is very monotone. She has to hit the big notes to make you feel her music. So thank you, Razi, for that, because it made me think of my person who I actually love as an artist. But when I look at, and I love his body of work, but I look at his ability, he's overrated. Like, he just makes good. He's cookie cutter. He could have been in Motown because you can put him in a machine and he's going to produce. But his talent is in there, and that's John Legend. John Legend's voice isn't all of that, but he's very.
Well, I agree with you, bro.
I'm a John Legend fan. I'm a John, like you go, like, I wouldn't even go see him in concert because I just feel like it's just, I'll put on his music before I go see him in concert, just because you're just not going to get any, even, ooh, he hit that. Like, you just can't get certain people you put on their music, and from the first note, you feel them. John just is just very monotone here, a little riff. I'm gonna hit this falsetto right here, bring it back down here. Like, that's what he's gonna do.
But I think that was his production that did that. I mean, he has range though. Like, I like John Legend. I don't think he was overrated.
I love him too.
Well, now I do think he's overrated when he got Sexiest Man Alive. Isn't that John Legend that just got that?
Yeah.
He's not that sexy to you, Razi.
He's not that sexy to me. I'm sorry.
I
got him to say it.
Who would have won it for you, Razi? Who would have won it for you, Razi? Who was your vote?
I don't know.
No. You got a name in mind. Who should it have been?
If not John, then who?
I don't know, man. I never thought about it. Like, who is the sexiest man alive? It's one of those things that, you don't know what you want to eat. But when somebody say, how about we go here? You be like, nah, I don't want that. Like, that's what it is. It's just one of those things like, nah, he ain't it. Like,
I got another one too, man. But
let me let you hear, because y'all going to jump on this. My song, and I'm ashamed to say it, because I think it was a song that kind of was a epitome of our young adult. Back that ass up.
You think that was overrated?
Maybe I'm just over it.
No,
like,
it's overblown, but it's not overrated.
I don't know. Like, it's just like, it was a catchy beat. And I just, like, I haven't danced to Back That Ass Up in years. When that song comes on, I get annoyed. Like, I'm like,
I think it's overplayed for you. Like, but like, to the point where, like, it was,
especially when it first dropped, it definitely went.
Usually that's when the hot songs first drop, and you go back and look at it like.
That song has everything you wanted to dance on. Like, the very beginning of it, when the beat comes on, it gives the women time to rush to the floor and say, oh, you know what I'm saying? And then the way he starts off the first verse, and then you end the song with Lil Wayne's ad libs at the end, like, something that everybody can chant. and do, which is what you wanted to dance on. Like that's our era's Electric Slide. Right.
Thank you. Overrated.
Okay. All right. Well,
Are you saying Electric Slide is overrated?
No.
Oh.
No, never mind.
Yeah. Cha-cha slide. Cha-cha
Cupid shuffle. Cupid shuffle. All that love. Get out here and you.
Hey.
I hate all that.
I like land dance.
I hate it all.
I like land.
I hate it all. I make sure I take a seat when those songs come on.
I don't know if he's popular enough for me to even name overrated because I've only heard like a very select few people even know who he is. But I think his name is Kim with a K. I don't even know if I can call him overrated because he's not that known. But like when I first moved up here, everybody was telling me about him, and I listened to him, and I was like, I mean, yeah, if I'm trying to go to sleep or something, I mean, but that
was his genre. He can sing. He has a better voice than John Legend. He can sing.
I'm not a John Legend fan, so I'm not going to.
Kim can sing though.
I disagree with your take on Jill Scott.
That might get me banned from Mobile, Alabama.
Jill Scott can sing?
I don't think she can sing everything Alicia Keys can.
Whoa. Go listen to Jill Scott's first CD and listen to her riffs. She's hitting notes. She's hitting operatic notes. That girl can sing.
I'm good.
Alicia Keys cannot hit these notes.
I think she can.
Who's the best Mobile rapper?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, to answer your question for, I think Last Mr. Big was best.
You are right. That is absolutely that is the correct answer. Razi probably still like C now though.
What?
Who's the best Mobile artist, Razi? Rapper.
I mean, it just depends on who, like, what's going on. I'm gonna say Sherman Cooley.
That's it. He's taking the easy road out.
He's so dang it, Razi.
No, Sherman was dope though. He was.
Sherman can roll, man.
I mean, but the last Mr. Big did it. That's it.
Yeah.
Down.
Like I mean, but if you go back and everybody on here hadn't been able to listen to like Cooley's actual songs and stuff like that. But you listen to Last Mr. Big and some of his production, and then you listen to some of Cooley's songs. I'm telling you, Sherman actually could out-rap Last Mr. Big.
But I think Mobile is a hard place to make it out of. Taken from somebody who tried. But shout out to Two Major Twins. Rest in peace, Last Mr. Big. Shout out C Now, Rich Boy. It's difficult to do what you guys did, so much props to you.
Yeah, definitely.
So, my thing is, when we say overrated, the thing is they still made it. You still are big enough to even be in this conversation. So when we say you overrated, don't matter. What was it? Dang, I can't remember. Flavor Flav. What was it? Kevin Hart asked Flavor Flav, like, how can you go out there and do this? And he was like, they still got to pay me, boy. Like, that's the thing about it is, man, y'all out there getting that money. So get it. Hey, it is what it is.
Well, most of the people we said on here are legends. Like they're, Alicia Keys, John Legend, Elvis. You said Elvis. So
I did say Elvis.
Sade, like they're all
great point. Great.
So it's like, it's just our opinion. And I just look at, for me, it's talent. If you talent to talent. When I'm looking at your genre and what you do as an R&B singer, coming from an era where you had Luthers and stuff like that, and this is my thing. Thoughts on a true R&B singer who can hit all these notes, and you get somebody like John Legend who's just kind of middle of the road, and then you have Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys to me is a female John Legend, very talented. Love her music. She's very monotone. She's very cookie cutter in what she can produce. You plug and play. She can't lose. She's not going to just hit these crazy notes. Like, you're not going to, like, NDRE. Go listen to some of NDRE songs and play Alicia Keys music right behind it. And you're like, this girl NDRE is singing. Like, this girl has talent. And then you go listen to Alicia Keys, like, I like the song. Like, it's more like, I like this song. I like this girl is singing.
I mean, but if you're entertained by it, that's like Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars can't really sing, but he entertains the mess out of you.
Yeah, he does.
And I would never say Bruno Mars is overrated, because the thing about it is, for what he does it well.
But the thing about it is, I think some people like that, they can get their music might not be as timeless, because when that fad or whatever is over, you might not appreciate it. Like a singer can sing, like somebody can walk in and 30 years from now, walk in and sing the national anthem or come and do a tribute and be like, dang, I forgot she can sing.
But they don't have to sing. Rappers don't sing. But Bruno Mars doesn't. I mean, the thing is, Bruno Mars is an entertainer. Funk in general isn't a singer's genre. I mean, if that was the case, you'd have to be like, oh, well, why? Like George Clinton, Boosie, they weren't singing. Like they were talking over the music.
But exactly. So the thing about it, their hits are timeless. But you're not gonna go listen to a Boosie album today because like that shit is old, it's outplayed. Like you don't want to listen to that. But like there's gonna be some Boosie, George Clinton hits that you like because it's their hits. You're going to play. There's certain songs that like, or people who can just keep I feel like can keep transitioning because of their pure talent. Like they can just sing regardless, or they can perform. They can give their art or their talent transcends time. But that's a whole other conversation because we're about to get away from the original question. But you know, Bruno Mars not overrated.
All right, gotcha.
All right, fellas. Anything else you guys want to put out there?
I hope everybody is off to a great start for the 2020. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in like you always do. Love the support on social media, by the way. Like I said this before, it really like kills time for me sometimes just seeing some of the comments you guys put on there. Like what's her name, Ferg? Ebony Taylor?
Yeah, Ebony.
Oh, Ebony. Yeah,
Ebony. She cracks me up, man. Just a lot of y'all with your comments.
Wakanda loving to fight.
Oh, Wakanda loves to fight, man.
I like to fight.
Please take some Krav Maga or some Wakanda, because you love trying to put hands on somebody. So
let them be, girl.
Appreciate it all, man. And I don't think we've ever done this show without laughing at least 5 or 6 times, man. So I just love doing this with you guys and having fun. And subscribe. Well, Ferg will give you the 6 rules of podcasting, but definitely subscribe and share.
Yeah. I want to shoot it over to our senior military correspondent, Horatio Smouye, to talk about this bombing over in Iraq at the embassy, or at least these folks going at the embassy. Horatio, tell us about that. Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard, they stormed the embassy over in Iraq, and our great president is talking about he's going to send folks over to Iraq. So we've got about 4,000 troops queued up trying to go to Iraq to maybe invade Iran. So everybody be careful. And, it's a stupid play. Just want to throw that out there. But we knew it was coming because, you can't poke the bear and not anticipate getting clawed or bared or whatever it is. Mauled. So what is it? Mauled. Yeah, mauled. No, I like bared. You get bared. So anyway, I'm a military correspondent, not a nature guy. So anyway, back to you, Razio. Hey, thanks, Horatio. Just want to thank you for all that. Everybody, we appreciate all the things that you guys are doing for us. Keep talking, keep laughing with us, and just keep us in your prayers too, because we want to continue to grow this thing. It is a new year, new us, and well, no, it's the same old us actually, but we're going to be the same old us, and we're going to continue to grow and get better at this. So keep listening.
And Razi, will you be able to post the link for shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. If you guys want some swag, be on the lookout. Sweatshirts are out. It's going to start getting in the spring. We got T-shirts up as well, long sleeve tees, and we got some more stuff coming eventually.
All right, I appreciate that. Well, mine is very simple, challenging everyone, including myself, for 2020 and moving forward. Like I said, I watched Kevin Hart's documentary the other day, and something he said stood out to me when he was talking about his father. And he was talking about always having a love for someone, but then he talked about mentioned the difference in loving someone and having a bond. And so I challenge everybody to not only just to continue to love the people in your relationships, but to go out and try to strengthen or create bonds. Because a lot of times we think love is enough. So go out and create bonds with these people while you have the chance and see if you can take that relationship to the next level. I know there's some people that I love dearly, but I just need to go ahead and create bonds or strengthen my bonds with these people as well. So that's my 2 cents for the day. But once again, Three Brothers No Sense. Tavares Ferguson signing off. You know what to do. 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you later.